All right, welcome to the weekly Forex cast. So today, this week is a big week. All right, if we look at what we got on the events, our Forex Factory, this is FOMC week. So it's a lot of different interest rate decisions. We see Tuesday, we got CPI for the Canadian dollar. Wednesday is the big day, FOMC for the US dollar. Are they going to raise rates or not? We got also CPI for GBP, GDP for NZD. We also have more rates for the Swiss franc as well as for GBP on Thursday. All right, then all the way going into Friday. So this whole week is a news heavy week. We got retail sales for GBP, flash services for Euro and GBP, as well as the BOJ, JPY press conference. So I'm expecting high volume, high volatility this week. So you want to be careful. You want to trade with caution. All right. And just be patient. Just allow the market to come to you and show its hand. So dealing with the dollar has been extremely bullish. Like looking at here on a weekly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, basically 9 weeks of straight bullish pressure. So now we're at an interesting level. Like dollar is coming into a level where we had a fall from. So this is a level of structure. It was also support here in the past, right? It turned resistance here in the past as well on the break and retest. So this is an interesting level where price is either going to break or bounce. So it's either we're going to see some corrective pullback, right, off of the dollar, or we can see price break through this level. So if they raise rates, it's likely we're going to definitely see the dollar continue to pump from here. So I would like to see how they play at this level. But looking at the dollar right now, there's no reason to look for sales as of now, right? You want to just ride the wave, and that wave has been bullish. You know what I mean? So until price gives any other reason to not look for bulls, it's only going to continue to be bullish. All right. So we could maybe see the dollar range and be choppy until FOMC. When FOMC come, expect manipulation, expect liquidity press, expect that. Expect some type of manipulation. But after FOMC, that's definitely going to set up for the next waves in price, all right? Maybe price pull back some and continue, all right? Or if they decide to dump the dollar and give us a correction from here, I would like to see a sharp move. We see a sharp move, breakdown of structure, then we can possibly expect the dollar to now move to the downside. So we just got to be patient and just react to what price gives us, all right? So starting with gold, we could see gold ended last week with a pump. It pulled down towards 1900, just about 10 pips shy of that key level of 1900. So what it did was we had a strong pump. So this is interesting because me personally, I wouldn't look to sell into this. Gold could possibly set up for a bigger wave up. It all depends. It really all depends on what the dollar does. But looking at gold from this perspective, we could possibly still see gold continue, or give at least another wave up, possibly on this pullback, maybe one more wave up going into FOMC, possibly. If it does and come into these levels, this is a level where, especially if the dollar want to continue to pump, with FOMC, this is the level where gold could probably fall from, So right now, it's pretty neutral until we see when it comes to the dollar pairs. I'm likely not messing with any dollar pairs until after the FOMC, so we'll just see. Well, it depends. It depends what price shows. But if I do, it's likely going to be low risk going into the event. Because EURUSD actually was a setup I was looking for on this pullback or retest, because we could see from this top, price has been trending to the downside, right? Lower lows and lower highs, right? So making its way down. So we can see here it's at an interesting level, because what price just did, we look to the left, price just broke this level of support or demand, right? We see right here, typically when you see a nice daily closure like this below a level of structure, that's a sign that we're moving further to the downside. So right here, we could possibly see this happen early. Possibly. I believe one or two things is either the dollar's going to move early, and we're gonna see some of these continuation plays early on some of these dollar pairs, and then going to FOMC, the big bang, you know, when we see sharp moves and, you know, see what the dollar really gonna do. But in this level, right, the retest of this level, I like for EU to potentially give another wave down. All right. From a technical perspective, that's what I see. It's clear that it's still bearish. All right. And if it does that, you know, I would like to maybe move down towards this level of demand. If this happened before FOMC, then it's a good chance that we can possibly bounce from here and the dollar can maybe correct or pull back on FOMC. If we see some sharp continuation plays early on the dollar, then trade would just expect something to happen with FOMC that it shakes the market up. All right, because if this move happens early on EU, right, I don't really think that EU will continue to just dump. But I mean, if they decide to really pump the dollar, then, you know, that could happen. Because if EU comes down here, because we look to the left, this is a major level of demand. So if EU comes down here, then and just breaks through this level, then that can set up for an even bigger move down. All right, so we'll see how that play out for EU. All right, now GU. So dealing with GU, we can see, if I look at this on a daily. All right, this also similar to EU, been trending to the downside from that high. If we look to the left, all right, price is breaking below this level. Like for example, here, this is a level of resistance or supply. All right, price is now trading a bit below that. All right, so now that's on the daily. So if I see this from the 4-hour perspective, we can see that we broke this level. We broke this level. All right, pull back slightly here. So this could be setting up maybe one more pullback early or retest, but overall, this is still showing signs to move to the downside. All right, so with that, if we look to the left, we have a level of demand right here, right? So this is possibly a level where price can pull into here, right? And this will be a big break and bounce area, either pump from there or continue. If it break that level of structure, you continue to just ride that wave. All right. Hold on one second here. All right. So yeah, you continue to ride that wave because this is also an interesting level right here. You know, like we have some levels of support here, you know, demand like within here. You know what I mean? So of course, if you break through that, then expect price to come down to this major level of demand. All right. And these are all moving towards interesting levels going into FOMC. That's why you want to trade with caution. Like I wouldn't be surprised if early these moves continue early in the week. And then when FOMC come, if they choose to dump the dollar, then we'll see moves like pairs like this from these levels pump going in line with the dump of the dollar. So we'll see. But right now, in the short term at least, GU is still looking bearish. Now, if price doesn't hold here, let's say a price was to just reverse from here and just have a sharp move up. If it have an impulsive break back up, then look to ride the wave up, right? So you just got to react to what price gives. Price action and market structure is key. GJ. So GJ is actually a pair that I'm in. I held over the weekend, because what I saw here, I believe I'm up about 50 pips or so. Because what I saw, now GJ has, you know, the yen pairs in general has been pretty choppy. Overall, if we're looking at it like on a weekly and everything, they've been in the uptrend, you know, because the yen has been really weak. So they have been in the uptrend overall. But I was looking to catch this corrective move down because I saw some daily price action. Now, if we see here on the weekly just closed bearish. All right. And, you know, breaking back below a level of structure because we look to the left, right? This is a level of structure, supply. Price closed back below that. You see here on the daily. So what I saw was price had a breakdown. Also right here, it formed this nice bearish engulfing on the daily. This is actually like a double top here on the daily. All right. So what price did was when I saw that breakdown, I was looking for the entry on the retest. So I entered on this retest and caught that fall down in the week. Now, if we look at this on a 4-hour perspective, you can see this is where price reached the level of resistance, held again, and fell, right? So on this breakdown, you know, I was entering on this retest. All right, so here on the 4 hour, it held on that pullback. All right, so I like for GJ to give us another potential move down. It's gonna be interesting how it moved early in the week though, because we do have, a lot of news, like I said, dealing with the pound, but also dealing with JPY. But the JPY BOJ is not really into the end of the trading week. So moving forward, if it gives like a slight pullback early, that could possibly be an opportunity to catch. All right. Or if price just continues, let's say it comes down and breaks structure, you could look for potential retest or pullback from there. Excuse me, and then catch that next wave down. So I'm holding my position that I'm currently in. And if price breaks this low, all right, we can expect GJ to have a bigger move down, then start looking at levels potentially like this, that price can potentially come into. All right. So we'll see how that play out going into the week. EJ also has been very choppy. You see we have a range right here that is running in. It's pretty much been staying within this range, right? The last couple weeks. All right. So now here on the daily, it actually formed a big evening star on the daily. Right. And it came back for this retest. So it's interesting to see again, usually GJ and EJ, normally JPY pairs in general, because JPY is a safe haven. It has strong value, whether it's negative or positive. So normally you'll see the JPY pairs or the yen pairs trade in the same direction for the most part. So if GJ continue, I would expect EJ to do the same. So we had this fall on this pullback here on the 4 hour. This could possibly be setting up for another wave down, because usually this is just a range, but usually when I see like a nice, like this type of daily price action, like a nice evening star, I lean towards price continuing to the downside. So could possibly set up for that fall, right? And then if yen starts to give some bullish correction to the upside and get strong, then we could expect a bigger move down. If price breaks this structure, it'd be an opportunity also possibly on a retest or pullback to catch a bigger wave down. All right. So we'll see how that play out with all the news events circling it. EA. So EA gave a nice move to the downside. We had some odd fundamentals come out. So if I look at EA on a weekly, looking to the left, right, this is a major level of supply right here. All right. So what EA just did is it had a nice close back below this level of structure. Here on the weekly, we got a bearish engulfing. All right. We see this on the daily. We also got a nice, strong bearish breakdown of structure. So what I would look for on EA, all right, I'll also take my counter trend line. See, we got that nice break. What I would look at on EA is on this pullback or retest, this is a nice potential opportunity to catch another wave down. All right. And that wave can possibly, it will come within these support levels. GA, same thing, pretty much. We can see here on the daily, we had a nice breakdown of structure. On the weekly is also closing strong bearish. All right, overall, we have been in an uptrend looking at this on a weekly. But we reached a top where price had a strong fall. So now we just trade in line with structure. So here on the daily, I like the way this closed. We also broke the trend line. All right, we see that this is also a previous structure high. All right, it formed support here right here. So a nice pullback or retest within this level of structure will be an ideal opportunity to catch the next wave down. All right. So I would say look for the pullback, the retest opportunity. All right. You can also see it here on the 4 hour. Right. Something along the lines of here to catch the next wave down. CAD. I'm also high on CAD strength. Last week was very big. I didn't post on YouTube, but I did send this out to my group in Discord, and it did exactly what I anticipated. It actually moved a lot heavier than what I expected. But because it started with me looking at it from this daily. All right, when I saw that, we moved away from a strong level of supply. All right, so when I saw this daily candle close below, right, a strong daily close below structure is key. You see it close below this level of structure. So I was anticipating a pullback or retest of that for the next wave. And that's exactly what it did. And it It retested and just fell deep. All right, but we broke even this level. So now we got an even stronger level that broke. Now we are pushing slightly into this level of demand here, but we could possibly still get another pullback and another drop. So on this pullback, right, maybe retest, could possibly be another opportunity to fall deeper into this zone of demand to the left. All right, that's what I would look for on GBPCAD. Now EURCAD, I really like EURCAD. You can see here, we had same thing. When I saw this daily close below structure, right, I was expecting a continued fall, slight pullback, and their price just continued. By looking to the left, right, you see that was a significant level for price to close below on a daily, major supply level here in the past, right? Also supply here, right? Here, it was support, turn resistance on this break and retest here. So these are all levels, significant levels. So if I see a daily break, right, you can see over here in the past, it was support, then it became major supply on the retest. All right, so these are strong structure levels when you see this type of price action around these levels. So a daily break below that, 4-hour break, that's a nice sign we're going to go further, and it continued. All right, so now I like for price to potentially retest this area, this higher low structure support for the next wave down. All right, down towards these levels of support, possibly down lower to this major level of demand. All right, so I really like this setup. We've been even looking on a smaller time frame. Price potentially pull back a little further for the retest, and then continue to the downside. You can also take a trend line here, right, which you can pretty much line up with that. Nice retest for the wave down. That's what I would look for. All right, and USDCAD. USDCAD really was one of my top plays, man, because I actually had a sell limit on this last week, and I saw this in this daily supply level, this nice level of supply, looking to the left, right? And it had a nice fall, initially setting up with this nice, strong rejection away from supply, right? It gave a slight pullback here and then just fell. And then from there, price just gave that deep fall down towards this strong psychological level, 1.35, right? But with these type of setups, you get multiple opportunities. Like you see here, this was another opportunity, because here price just fell. You see price just fell and continued to fail, fall, broke structure, retest, continue, right? One more time, it had another slight retest here, and then just completed the move. All right, so now we are finding support here, but if we look at the weekly is bearish engulfing. So it's interesting. Of course, FOMC is going to have something to do with this. So we'll see if the dollar want to fall or not. But from a technical perspective, USDCAD do have a bearish engulfing. So it is at a level where it could pull back from. But on that pullback, it could possibly set up for another fall. All right, typically with a bearish engulfing like that on a weekly, you know, you'll see a bigger fall to the downside, you know, but with that being the weekly chart, you know, on a smaller time frame, you could see some type of move up first before price set up for the next wave down. So we'll see if we can get that. But of course, FOMC is really going to be the catalyst when you're dealing with any dollar pair. So we just got to be patient, allow the market to come to us, and we move from there. All right. So I hope that helps. Hope you got value out of that. Just keep it simple. The price action is price action technicals really are easy. It's really simple to understand once you see how price moves. But it's the psychological aspect that you really got to master. Being disciplined, sticking to your plan, knowing your risk tolerance, and having confidence to execute your trades. All right. So I'll see y'all on the next one. Let's catch some pips. Y'all be blessed. Peace.